Hello, Jakub. Nice to see you again. I hope that everything is going well with your training in pediatrics in Istanbul, as well as with your work in the Health Cities Network. How have you been?
Thank you, Christos. It is always nice to see you online and face to face. I'm doing well nowadays, and I hope you are doing well in your works in the orthopedics residency and in other works in European Student Think Tank and other works in European Commissions and other places. What about you?
All is fine, and seems that it is the day that we are actually presenting our advocacy paper for a tobacco-free generation to the Beyond Science Initiative International Conference, indeed the 10th edition of this conference. So let's go on and dive into this topic.
Yes, I'm really excited to share one of our experiences in 2012, 2023, sorry. Uh, let's start with a big question. The conference was about the tobacco use and tobacco cessation during throughout Europe. How young people can be involved in this process.
Well, that's actually a great place to start. We know that tobacco is responsible for about 700,000 deaths, premature deaths annually in Europe alone. And despite all the progress that has been done in relevant research as well as policy, medication, and treatment of diseases, the big question is that young people still increasingly use tobacco products and, of course, increasingly face health challenges because of them. So, in the same way that they are involved into the problem, young people are a key demographic to co-create the solution to this.
Yes, I totally agree with you because we all know that today's young people creates tomorrow's adult and older populations. If we can change their attitudes and lifestyle today, we can prevent non-communicable diseases and we can decrease the risk of developing new non-communicable diseases incidences in the future. And the European Conference on Tobacco or Health 2023 has a meaningful youth participation during the conference, as we all know.
Indeed,
So
and this
let's
was
dive
done
deep
with
into this youth
a new model
involvement.
of engagement, which is actually the youth committee. This is formed by young people, young professionals, and it brings a fresh perspective to the conference. We weren't just attendees, we were rapporteurs, discussion leaders, and advocates. And with this role, we helped document key discussions, contributed to the final report, and even played a role in post-conference outputs and communication.
Mhm. And I remember our energy during the conference in these 3 days along. And we were a huge team, as I remember. We were like nearly 80 young professionals from different backgrounds like medical sciences, like public health and statistics, and also social sciences from 19 countries. It was a huge number when we think about youth representation.
Indeed, but how would it look like? Well, let's go through one or actually all the three of the days that we had there. And likewise, we also had three key responsibilities. The first of them being attending and documenting the sessions as rapporteurs, ensuring that any critical discussion is captured. Then, being part of the youth panel and networking, there was even a dedicated session where young professionals shared their experiences and one more about papers writing that we harnessed in order to produce an output and a report of this model of participation. But I think that the most important role that we had or shared was drafting the Madrid 2023 declaration, a milestone document that sets the vision and the stage for a tobacco-free generation in Europe by 2040.
Yes, the declaration was very impressive when we are trying to produce and disseminate the messages under the declaration. And also, we as reporters and the youth committee members, we also worked on an online advocacy action, like we disseminated all tobacco cessation messages throughout our social media channels during the conference with using specific hashtags. And also local press supported us during the conference days. And also European Cancer Leagues and Spanish League Against Cancer took several responsibilities on the dissemination of the messages throughout the different channels. So, what about the challenges and lessons learned from the ECToH 2023? I can share my experiences from the challenges part. It was quite hard for us to attend the conference as reporter and as a member of organization committee. Imagine that you are both attending a conference session, you are trying to learn something from yourself, from your future works, and also you are responsible to fill a report or note document online. You are trying to answer all these questions in the executive summary, and you are trying to create a summary document of each sessions. And I remember that we were responsible to two sessions per during all conference, like one session per day, and it was also created a huge workload. What do you think?
Well, I certainly agree with this, and I think that this was the major challenge, making sure that we are there as an active part of the discussion, as active participants, and not as only as a naive token of youth representation to the conference. And I think that we did a very good work into that, and had also some great takeaways that we can share, some great lessons.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I remember that I was 25 years old, and the other lecturers and speakers in my session have 25 years of experience years.
That's actually a great way to summarize everything. And this actually also says that mentorship is possible and it matters. And it is something that becomes possible through will and time. And by the time that we were into the conference, and then by consecutively sitting down, exchanging opinions, but also learning from each other and putting together a full report of this, I think that a key lesson for all of us was that effective mentorship exists and should be promoted. But now let's leave from our sphere and see what was important, what was the vision of the conference, which was indeed a bold and vital vision. There are actually two aspects of this. One is the methodology, the fact that you involve young people, you form a youth committee, and you engage the committee in the outputs of your work. This is something that can and should be scaled across other conferences and other platforms. There is a great variety of challenges in public health and beyond and science that can be addressed through this model, from cancer to antimicrobial resistance.
And as we mentioned before, the Madrid Declaration and its importance, the declaration underlines, as you mentioned, the importance between tobacco cessation and all the other stakeholders, like people from political background, people from young representatives, and other kind of population groups. And the declaration underlines not only people's attitudes on tobacco cessation and tobacco use, but also the environmental effects like healthy cities, healthy environment, public smoking places, and also other kind of topics regarding to tobacco cessation. It offers a roadmap for everyone.
Indeed, and actually, if we are close to a conclusion or we start to see the end of this road, we certainly have a declaration of accountability for our work in the future. And the main message here is that, as a conclusion to any young health advocates and researchers listening, your voice matters, so make sure to get involved, join youth networks, and push for change.
Sorry. Uh, Also, we had before we close, we want to share a bit more words about our greater team. You see, only two of us from our huge team, but we were tens, right?
Indeed, senior and established professionals, but also young people like you and me. If we start reading their names, we will not finish this presentation, but certainly a shout out to our co-authors that actively worked on producing this report and all the individual and entities that contributed to the conference. And of course, huge applaud to the BSI for providing us with a platform to share this close to a wide range of presentation in basic, clinical, and translational research.
Here we our presentation about our experiences from European Conference to Tobacco or Health in 2023. We want to thank you for your all attention, and if you want to reach 2023 Madrid Declaration, you can use the QR codes, and if you want to reach the full article of the experiences, you can use the second QR code. And if you want to reach us via LinkedIn, and if you want to learn more about how youth involvement and participation issues agreed during the conference, you can reach us with these two QR codes. Thank you for your attention.
Sure. Make sure to take the conversation forward. Thank you.